9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Warning! Warning! Danger! Danger! A strange world is on Me TV.
A world somehow like ours, but of incredible darkness and fear.
What is the show called?
It has been called many different names by many different cultures.
Oh, I know. It's called Lost in Space. Saturday at 8, 7 Central on Me TV.
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to Connect with Me. This edition on a Tuesday morning, live on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. Today, we're going to be talking to travel. How to travel, when to travel. Are you still interested in traveling in light of what happened yesterday in Boston during the Boston Marathon? We do have a telephone number to talk about, a brand new one. The old one, you can toss it out. Here is the new one, 559-436-6388. You can either use the 559 area code or 866. Back with our guest in just a moment. Today, of course, is the focus on business here on Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno, but in conjunction with that, we're going to be talking about what happened at the Boston Marathon yesterday, where 2 explosions went off. They found 2 more bombs. There were 3 people killed, including an 8-year-old boy who was on his way running to congratulate his father after finishing the Boston Marathon. He was killed along with 2 other people. There were more than 100 people injured, of course. And so today in the studio, we're going to have a travel agent talking about the do's and don'ts of travel. And will this discourage people from traveling around the country, around the world? Will some people cancel their travel plans? Anytime an incident like this happens, heightened alert obviously goes into effect all around the country. Now, here is what happened. Here is the latest from Boston on what happened yesterday during the marathon.
The first blast happened just a few feet from the finish line for the 23,000 people registered for the Boston Marathon. Thousands had already crossed the line by the time the explosion went off, but many were still running the 26.2-mile course. Witnesses described horrific injuries, many people with limbs blown off.
We were in the VIP seat. Look, watching across the street. We saw the first bomb go off. People, blow up in the streets.
The second blast went off about 100 yards away, nearly simultaneous with the first.
Get out of the zone, get out of the zone.
AP has learned that 2 other explosive devices were found nearby.
I don't know why anyone would do something like this. Just take something so pleasant and turn it so horrible.
Make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of this, and we will find out who did this.
The FBI has joined Boston and Massachusetts officials in working the case, trying to figure out who is responsible for the deaths and injuries.
There was no specific intelligence. We certainly increase our posture around a big event like this. All of those things happened in preparation for this event, but there was no specific intelligence that anything was going to happen.
Meanwhile, officials warn the public to stay indoors and stay away from crowds. Matt Friedman, Associated Press.
Live in our studio right now is Moriah Turnbull of Moriah's Travel right here in the city of Fresno. We're going to be talking about whether or not some people might be discouraged from traveling this coming summer, maybe even this spring. Of course, spring break is over, but anytime an incident like this happens, you know, some people back out of their travel plans. Some people are discouraged from even trying to book any kind of flights or maybe even a cruise ship or something of that nature. And so at this point, just the latest from Boston, 3 dead, more than 100 injured. No one at this point has claimed responsibility. We're going to be talking to Moriah about the travel industry, where to go, how to book if you're still interested in going. So call in. Our brand new telephone number here is 559 or 866-436-6388. We're back with our guest. If you're interested in still traveling, you might want to take some safety precautions. We'll get some tips in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
And we're back here talking about Moriah's travel service. Just wondering if the incident in Boston will discourage you from making travel plans this coming summer as to whether or not to take a cruise, maybe go overseas, maybe even take a tour of New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C. The entire eastern seaboard is a great travel destination for anyone because there is a lot of sightseeing involved. And so our new telephone number here, I'm going to iterate this throughout the show, 559-866, well, it's either 559 or 866-436-6388. Time to turn to our guest today. Hi, Moriah Turnbull is our guest, and good to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it very much. So this incident in Boston, we know that 3 people died, 2 explosions, way more than 100 dead, or 100 injured, I should say, about 170, 180 people that were injured. There could be even more. No one has claimed responsibility. Heightened alert all over the country. Will this discourage people from making travel plans, do you think?
It could, but we always have to realize bad things happen to good people, and that we, you know, as Americans are resilient, and we need to support our country, and by not visiting these places, I mean, we all live off of tourism dollars, you know, in different places, especially in the big cities. So I would like to encourage people to travel. I mean, that's how we show people that we don't be put down. We'll keep on going no matter what happens.
We do have a call. Good morning.
Sure.
You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Yeah, I was just wondering, what's supposed to be on that Me TV channel right now?
We can. Let's clarify something right now, okay? This is a television talk show, and if you want to call in and ask a specific question to the guest, no problem. Turn your television set down. We'll be glad to take your call. Speak clearly, speak into the phone, but we're not going to, excuse me, we're not going to take any programming questions. Those can be directed at another time. We're just going to shut you down really quick if you ask a programming question. Sorry about that, excuse me. So anyway, after 9/11, what was it like? Were people scared to travel, and do you think people will be scared to travel now again?
It's a good possibility. After 9/11, that was a nightmare for the travel industry and for the nation and for people in general, because as far as personal experience, I had clients that were abroad that weren't able to travel back home for many days. And they literally shut down for many years from traveling because they hated that feeling that they could not get back to their families.
Do you think this will happen again this time with the Boston incident, or will it not be as severe?
I don't think it'll be as severe because, number one, we don't even know who caused this. It could be a domestic terrorism. It could be international. So
nonetheless, it could be indication to some people might have the vision that this could happen anytime, anywhere, any place, a cruise ship in Boston, in New York, overseas, you never know.
Right, and it could happen at a football game. I mean, there's been at a mall. I mean, there's been all kinds of, like I said, bad things can happen to good people anywhere.
Will this affect your business?
I don't think so. I really don't, because I know my clients very well, and they are travelers. They are vacationers. They believe in taking their families and doing that connection. I mean, the best way of connecting with your family and decompressing and getting away from your everyday mundane things of life is to travel.
How
And
long
people
have you
will
been
do
in
it.
business?
Since 1992.
Okay, and how has the travel industry changed? I mean, the internet has changed everything. How much has that affected your business?
It's affected us extremely good ways and bad ways. So it just depends on, how you look at it. I've had to reinvent myself many times.
How so?
Well, we ended up having to be more informed or better versed in different destinations, because now clients get very well versed in a destination just by Googling, Hawaii or whatever destination they're going to. They already have a list of hotels and a list of restaurants and everything. So it's up to us.
And they have everything priced out, don't they?
Yes. But,
and they have everything discounted on the internet, and they come to you and they say, can you give me the same deal? And what do you tell them?
Well, I'm not, my focus is on service. So I'm here for the busy person who doesn't have time to go shopping and everything. Plus, you got to remember, travel agents still control 65% of the market. So we have discounts that you never see on the internet. We also have packages, and we buy by bulk, that we are able to pass the discounts to our clients. So actually we can save the client money 65% of the time more over than the internet. So there is a professionalism there that the client sometimes forgets about.
So what you're saying is that you cannot always get a better deal by going on the internet as opposed to calling a travel agent.
Exactly.
But in some cases you might.
You might. You might. And
I
in
that case, what do you do? What will you tell the client?
You know something? I'm the kind of person who honestly says, if you want to book it through the internet, go for it. I would rather book it for them, because I'd rather them not travel alone, in the fact that I will support their trip. If anything goes wrong, I'm there for them. They can call me 24/7, and I will...
What's the advantage, let's say, of booking with an agent as opposed to going to the internet directly and just purchasing a ticket, let's say?
That's basically that support system. I mean, I can't imagine Expedia or Travelocity being on the phone, a live person, going ahead and hand-holding you. I'm sure there was people trying to get out of Boston a day earlier or than their plans because they were nervous.
What kind of help can you offer somebody if they're in trouble or they need to change their plans and they call you?
Well, a great example of that is there was remember the volcano that erupted over Greenland a while back? Anyway, to make a long story short, I had a client that was supposed to catch a flight. All the flights were canceled because of the thing. Okay. So I called them. I had rebooked their flight. It was 3 days later. Put them, called the hotel, told them they were going to stay 3 more days, had a driver go pick them up. They did not have to deal with long lines. They didn't have to deal with all the craziness of trying to figure out, am I booked, am I not booked, where am I going, or whatever. They were taken care of. And they just had to spend 3 extra days on their honeymoon in Italy. So what the heck?
Yeah, so that's not a bad deal. So you take care of all of the problems that occur during their trip. You can rebook. You can reschedule a flight, a cruise, or whatever, and so that saves them the trouble, is what you're saying.
Exactly, and
okay.
that's what I think.
That's the advantage of having a travel agent.
Exactly,
right.
And you want to find a travel agent that you connect with. You know, I don't want to say we're friends with all our clients, but you want one that will go ahead and be happy to help you in any situation that you may be. I even had one client call me because he overdrank. He couldn't find a taxi. He was stuck in an area, and so I went ahead and got this call like at midnight, and it was so funny. So I found him a driver, got him picked up, and sent back to his airport. But that's what we do because we love our clients.
All right, we got to take a break here. We're talking to Moriah Turnbull of Moriah's Travel Service here on Connect with Me on this day. By the way, we do have a new telephone number. And let me reiterate, if you have any programming questions, we're not going to take your calls. Those are left aside for another day, another time. Our new number here is area code 559 or 1-866-436-6388. That's our brand new telephone number. But again, no programming questions, only travel questions on this day on Connect with Me.
Weeknights on MeTV. Who loves you, baby?
You shouldn't ask.
It's Kojak.
Well, it sounds like music to my ear.
On MeTV.
Look at me.
Why do we love him?
Maybe it's the way I comb my hair.
Or maybe it's his trusty right-hand man.
More bite?
Cracker! Cracker! Cracker!
Kojak! Well, I just wanted to hear how it sounded.
Telly Savalas' Kojak.
Story of my life, baby.
Weeknights at 12:30, 11:30 Central on MeTV.
Who loves you?
Today is the Focus on Business. Moriah Turnbull is here of Moriah's travel service agency here in the city of Fresno. She's been in business now, what, about 20 years. We do want to put a disclaimer up on the screen, though. We know this kind of interrupts the show and kind of interrupts the flow of our interview. We'll put it up really quick. We just want to say that, you know, we didn't twist her arm to come here. We're not paying her. She's not paying us. At least I don't think she is. Anyway, that's a joke. Anyway, the Focus on Business, Moriah's travel service. Let's get back to our interview here real quick. Travel tips if someone is going either overseas or to the eastern seaboard. Moriah.
Oh, wow. Good question. Travel tips, of course, I would say pack smartly. You got to be careful. TSA, do not put any liquids in your carry-ons. That's over 2 ounces. Be at the airport early.
Why
because TSA regulations does not allow it.
Okay.
And you can go on tsa.gov and find out all about the regulations on that. So you do need to be careful, be at the airports early, especially after this incident. I'm assuming that security is going to be heightened.
How early should you be there? That's the question.
You know, out of Fresno, 2 hours. Like smaller cities, I would say 2 hours is plenty of time. The bigger cities like LAX, San Francisco, 3 hours or more.
Wow.
Yeah.
So LA and San Francisco, you got to be there 3 hours in advance?
I would, because I will tell you, number one, check-in can be if you don't,
nightmare.
It can be a nightmare, and security is the problem. I've stood in line in security for an hour to an hour and a half. It's like a terrible long line for a ride.
So if you don't do that, will you risk losing or missing your flight?
Yes, and a lot of flights are overbooked now. Because they have cut back the airlines, so there's not back-to-back flights.
That's always been a problem.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
but
the airline's always overbooked.
It's even worse now. So if you miss that flight, you may not be able to travel, especially this summer. I've noticed a lot of flights are already sold out, so you may not be able to travel at all.
Right, right. Okay. When should you book?
Depending on what you're booking. If you're going to book something that's a very popular destination, I would definitely say 6 months or more, but you can't book more than 11 months out.
Is it still like if you're booking 2 weeks in advance, you're going to get that discount?
If you're booking, yes. On airfare, you mean?
Yes.
On airfare, yes. If you're 21 days in advance, you get better prices on airfare than you do if you're 21 days and less.
Okay.
So,
and that's because why?
Because as the plane fills up, the prices go up. It's just the way the airlines price up.
So last minute book, you're going to pay the highest price, right?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. And so if you want to make summer plans on a cruise or, going overseas, you should book that how far in advance?
Now, cruises you can book a year and a half in advance on many of the cruise lines, and I highly recommend it.
So wait a minute. If you want to go on a cruise to the Caribbean, you're going to book a year and a half in advance?
Why not? You can put on down.
Explain that to me. Why?
Okay, I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why. One, you only have to put down a small deposit. You can make payments at up to the 90 days before it's due.
What happens if something comes up? What happens if there's a birth in the family? There's a wedding.
What I love about cruises,
yes,
it's fully refundable up to final payment.
Really?
So there's no risk. That's the second thing.
Okay.
The third thing is on cruises, you can book it at whatever price it is a year and a half in advance.
Right.
Every time a sale comes in, if that sale is, if your cruise is cheaper now because of that sale, they will roll it down to the lower price. So it's a win-win situation. Not only do you get the cabin you want, but you get to make payments and everything else.
We're looking at one of the ship decks right there, and there's a there's a cruise liner, and I'm laughing right now, but it's not a funny situation. We've heard in the news recently a lot of cruise ships now, the cruises, people have gotten sick. They've been stuck on a boat.
For days.
For days on end.
But But
is that going to discourage somebody from booking a cruise?
They shouldn't. I would go cruising now over any other kind of vacation, because you know why? They have.
Because you're a travel agent. You're selling it. You're selling it.
Because every time, and you got to understand, every time something goes wrong with a product, what happens? Everybody comes in and fixes that product as best they can.
But it keeps happening over and over and over again.
It's only happened 4 or 5 times. It's not.
Only? And how many hundreds of people have gotten...
Okay, think of it this way, though.
Food poisoning.
Think of it this way. There's over how many cruise lines? There's over 100 cruises going out every single day, over year after year for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And yet we just have these few little incidences. It's like saying on
Are you arguing with me?
Yes, I am arguing with you, because you should travel and you should go on a cruise right now. It's the safest. I would think it's the safest because of how much they've monitored it.
I don't know. I'm scared of the food poisoning. Plus, I'm not too good with the seasickness.
Well, I wouldn't.
You take my Dramamine with me.
I'll put you on a big ship, and I'll put you on a very expensive ship.
The last time I went on a cruise, I got to say, I vomited all over the place.
Really?
Oh, it was
you were
horrible.
that bad.
The ship was going like this. It was bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I would highly recommend the larger ships for you.
Yeah.
And
the Titanic? No, that's a joke.
No. Go on the Oasis. Actually, the Royal Caribbean that you just saw, one of their sister ships there, the Mariner, but the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Allure is the largest ship. You cannot feel those big babies moving. I was just on it in October. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, right. Okay. I believe you. All right. Moriah Turnbull is here. She's a travel agent, of course, here in Fresno for 20 years. Moriah's Travel Service. We're going to come back and talk about the top 10 destinations out of Fresno and show you some incredible pictures. Back in a moment.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want.
This Amana Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is now just $6.99, and this heavy-duty Maytag Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is only $8.99.
Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
Back with Moriah Turnbull of Moriah's Travel, and let's go through the top 10 list. Top 10 travel destinations out of Fresno. We're going to put those up on the screen right now. We'll go through them. Number 1 through 4. Hawaii is number 1 on the list, I guess, huh?
Well, I based it on the Fresno area, the Central Valley. I mean, I'm sure the destinations change, the top 10 destinations change depending on where you live.
Hawaii's the most popular, though, right?
Oh, people love Hawaii.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder why. No, it is. It's absolutely beautiful.
What a mystery.
And it's become very easy to get to through Allegiant. You know, it has a direct flight right now. And the prices are amazing. So, you know,
we
why
already
not?
talked about the cruises, obviously. Right. Those are very popular despite the food poisoning and the waves. The Caribbean and Mexico, that's a very popular destination out of here.
You know what's great about Caribbean and Mexico? They offer true all-inclusive vacations. People like that because they don't have to think once they get there.
Okay.
You know, all your meals, your drinks, your alcohol, your excursions, everything is paid for up front.
All right, what about Europe?
Europe is awesome. The best way to do Europe at this time, though, is through cruising. Believe it or not, you see a lot, and the pricing is really well done.
Right, and look where they're going. They're going to Italy, of course, Great Britain, Greece, Spain, Portugal, everywhere else, of course, in Europe. And then Latin America is on the list as well.
Yeah, Latin America has really come up in the last few years. Peru is a must-see on the Machu Picchu area on most people's bucket list. Costa Rica. Oh, Brazil is beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I've been
beautiful.
there a couple of times.
Yeah, unbelievably. And the very gracious people, great food, great fun.
Yeah. And people are going to Canada. Look at that.
Yeah.
Number 6 on the list there. And Asia, China, Thailand, the Philippines, and Japan.
Very popular. Very, very popular. Because it's exotic, it's beautiful, it's easy to, it's got some really great pricing out of the Bay Area. If you can leave out of San Francisco, China Air and Singapore Air has some really great packages.
The South Pacific, of course. Tahiti. I've not been to Tahiti.
Oh, you would love
I want to go. Yeah, the Fiji Islands, New Zealand, and Australia. Great destinations.
Great
and,
destinations.
Takes forever to fly to Australia, though. I know that. And then we've got the African safaris. Those are big, right?
Those are big. South Africa especially, it's very safe, it's very clean,
Right.
and absolutely beautiful. Highly recommended.
Right, and of course, last on the list there, the Middle East. People are going still to Israel, Jordan, Dubai, and Egypt, despite the conflict over there, right?
Yes, a lot of people still are very interested in those destinations, especially historically. And
Right.
then Dubai is just a destination between the architect and everything that's going on there.
Well, the
just
religious
unbelievable.
part of the Middle East is the attraction there, you know, with the Bible and the beginnings of time and Jesus and all that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
all right, got some pictures to put up on the screen here. Let's start with Venice.
Oh, Venice.
Popular destination out of Fresno. A lot of people from Fresno booking to go to Venice. Look at there's a picture of Venice.
Yes. Actually, yes. Venice is truly everything that you can imagine it being. It is a very romantic place to take your loved one. I mean, it's an anniversary honeymoon. It's just an unbelievable destination.
All right, Hawaii. We've got a couple of pictures up from Hawaii. Where is this?
That's in Kauai. I was
Okay.
there for a wedding this last February. It was wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
And this is the rainforest in Hawaii. Is this on the Big Island here?
Yes.
or-
No, that's on Kauai also.
That's on
That's
Kauai?
in
Okay.
Princeville area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And the
beautiful.
Caribbean. We've got 2 or 3 pictures from the Caribbean here. What are we looking at, Moriah?
That one's in Nassau. That's the Sandals in Nassau. That's a truly all-inclusive luxury vacation. It's something I highly recommend anybody to do.
Yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous.
And that's the beaches in Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos is one of the dry islands in the Exumas. And what's nice about that, they have very little rain, but it's still absolutely tropical and some of the best diving in the world.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
another
this-
one there.
And this one's in the Cozumel area. Beautiful, beautiful resort.
Yep. And still, I'll bet you one of the most popular destinations in all the world is that place right there. Funland, Disneyland.
Oh, we love Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's the happiest place on earth. It's not the cheapest place on earth.
No kidding.
Everybody almost passes out when I give them the package price, but it is.
What a
I love
ripoff! What a
Disneyland.
ripoff! No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And
You
they
know,
have the
if
Disney
you
cruises, too,
listen, I'm joking when I say that. Of course, you got to know my sense of humor. But if you have kids, if you don't go to Disneyland, you're really doing your family a disservice. I don't care what it
totally believe
costs.
that, yeah.
I mean, don't you agree? You've
I
got to
agree.
take your kids.
You know, and the best thing to do is take your 3-year-old, 4-year-old, that first visit to Disney, to see it through their eyes is unbelievable. It makes it worth every penny that you spent.
Right.
I
All
love
right.
it.
So,
Love it.
any more travel tips for us before we go here? The TSA they're gonna crack down now after this Boston
so
thing, right?
please be early, pack light, be careful, go on TSA.gov, make sure you pack things correctly. I don't know, just be safe.
Right. And
just be
again, here
aware.
in Fresno, you said 2 hours in advance. Huh?
I would say 2 hours in advance.
That seems a little bit far out.
Well, you know, especially if your luggage
Our
is
airport is not that big.
No, but if your luggage is being connected to another airline or you're going out of the country, they are going to be checking a little bit more, like your documents, you're making sure your luggage is connected correctly. Sorry. So, you know, just give yourself that extra time. Business people can pre-check in and download their boarding passes 24 hours prior. Do that, an hour should be fine.
Quickly, we're almost out of time. How's your business doing? Has the
Great.
internet really affected it? We got into that a little bit earlier in the show. Is your business up or down?
Oh, definitely up.
Up.
And I've been talking
Especially
to
this time of year, right?
Oh, we've been swamped.
Right.
It's been unbelievable, and people are spending money. This is, you know, usually my family vacations are $3,000 to $5,000. They're over $10,000. Most people are
All
spending.
right, quickly, being a travel agent, how many free trips do you get a year? Come on.
We don't get free trips. We get highly discounted trips,
Really?
but they're not truly
How
free.
highly discounted are they?
Well, I went on that beautiful cruise that I told you for $349.
Ooh.
And there you go. That's why I like being a
Moriah, you're
travel
such a
agent.
pleasant lady. I really appreciate you coming by. I can see why you're so successful. You got a great personality. And come back again.
Okay, well, I would love to.
All right.
Invite me.
Thank you. Moriah Turnbull of Moriah's Travel. Tomorrow we're back again for another edition of Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno.
That was funny.
Carolina in the morning. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina.